Record number of U.S. spy planes over South China Sea, says Chinese think tank. The U.S. military flew a record number of spy planes over the South China Sea in November, a Chinese think tank says, as tensions between the world's two largest economies simmer. U.S. aircraft carried out 94 sorties last month, the South China Sea Strategic Situation Probing Initiative said in a post on its verified Weibo account. That was a 25% increase from the February record, according to figures provided by the group, which has reported data on activity on the body of water since 2019. The Boeing P-8 Poseidon, an anti-submarine surveillance plane, accounted for nearly 4/5 of last month's flybys, the think tank said. The most on any single day came on November 4, when the United States sent 10 planes over the sea, according to the think tank, as the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier strike group sailed through. That topped the January 23 figure of 7. A spokesman for the 7th Fleet said in an email to Bloomberg News on Friday, December 3, that U.S. Navy ships and aircraft routinely operate within the international waters of the South China Sea, and are committed to supporting its network of alliances and partners, and upholding a free and open Indo-Pacific. U.S. President Joe Biden is taking a strong stance to oppose China's broad territorial claims in the disputed waters. The U.S. has conducted at least 5 transits involving ships this year through the sea, where Vietnam, the Philippines and Taiwan have sovereignty claims. The U.S. also expanded its flight range last month by sending a patrol aircraft over the Taiwan Strait that came within about 16 nautical miles of China's territorial waters, the think tank reported. It did not say what the previous distance was. Planes from the People's Liberation Army regularly fly near Taiwan, which China considers a renegade province, to be reunified by force if necessary. Last week, China sent 27 fighter jets into Taiwan's Southwest Air Defense Identification Zone, after a U.S. lawmaker defied a Chinese demand that she abandon a trip to the island. U.S. nearly doubled military personnel stationed in Taiwan this year. The United States has doubled its unofficial military presence in Taiwan over the past year in what specialists describe as the latest signal to China that Taiwan's future remains a priority. The increase from 20 personnel to 39 between December 31 and September 30 came with little fanfare, but it did coincide with a rare public acknowledgement by President Tsai Ing-wen in October that the U.S. military maintains a small presence in Taiwan. Active duty deployments now include 29 Marines as well as 2 service members from the Army, 3 from the Navy and 5 from the Air Force, according to the Pentagon's Defense Manpower Data Center. While the United States has not disclosed what the military personnel are doing, at the very least it is sending a strong signal to China, said Kich Liao, military and cyber affairs consultant for Doublethink Lab, a Taiwan-based research organization specializing in disinformation. The escalation is subtle but unmistakable, he told VOA. It is unclear whether these figures include a U.S. Special Operations contingent and Marines who are in Taiwan to train the local military or whether they are officers involved in planning and State Department operations. Their presence was confirmed in late October by President Tsai after the Wall Street Journal published 2 stories stating they had been in Taiwan for at least a year, citing unnamed U.S. officials. China is in a major military modernization campaign, due to finish by 2035. But it may have the capacity to launch a credible military operation against Taiwan, which it claims as a wayward province, as early as 2027, according to a new Pentagon report. Relations between Taipei and Beijing have soured since the election of President Tsai, whom the Chinese media portray as a separatist, because her political party does not endorse eventual unification with China. As tensions in the Taiwan Strait have escalated in the past year, U.S. President Joe Biden has indicated the U.S. will support Taiwan if it is attacked, although formal U.S. policy is more ambiguous and stops short of promising to defend Taiwan. The 1979 Taiwan Relations Act states that the United States will make available to Taiwan such defense articles and defense services to allow it to defend itself from attack, language Washington has implemented through large weapons sales. Additional U.S. military personnel might be in Taiwan to show members of the Taiwanese military how to use their latest weapons purchases, Sharp said, or to train them in small rubber boat tactics to help defend outlying islands such as the Pratas Islands. The uninhabited islands are administered by Taiwan but lie close to continental Asia and Chinese military bases on Hainan Island, making them an easy target for Beijing. They are also of strategic value as they lie at the entry and exit of the Bashi Channel and the Taiwan Strait, which could give China access to the Western Pacific. Attacking the island could be a convenient way to embarrass Taiwan and the United States without civilian loss of life, Sharp said. Blinken doubles down on China warning over Taiwan, terrible consequences if Beijing strikes. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken fired a warning shot at China, saying any move to invade Taiwan would bring terrible consequences. Blinken spoke at the Reuters Next conference Friday when he shared his thoughts on China and the possible threat to Taiwan as tensions have continued to ramp up over the past few months. He reiterated the U.S. commitment to defend Taiwan's right to self-govern, which China has threatened with claims that the island is part of its territory. We've been very clear and consistently clear, over many years that we are committed to making sure that Taiwan has the means to defend itself and, we will continue to make good on that commitment, Blinken said on the subject of committing military forces in the event China does invade Taiwan. Blinken stressed that China's leaders should think very carefully about any such action, which he said would have terrible consequences for lots of people, and one that's in no one's interest. The comments follow a warning from top experts on the same day that a move to take over Taiwan could provide China the edge it needs to take top spot in the global community thanks to the island's dominance in semiconductor manufacturing. Taiwan produces the vast majority of semiconductors globally, supplying 63% of the market's share compared to the mere 12% the U.S. supplied in 2019. In 2020, China supplied 16% of semiconductors globally. If you give the Chinese Communist Party control over large parts of the semiconductor industry, they're going to have considerable leverage over their trading partners, and they're going to use that leverage, ranking member on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Representative Michael McCall, Texas, told Fox News. They've shown in the past that when they have a strength, they use it. But Biden and Blinken have continued to firmly state the U.S. support for Taiwan against any possible Chinese invasion. The U.S. and its Western allies have backed Taiwan's security, and reports indicate the U.S. is working to shore up defenses in the Indo-Pacific as Chinese aggression in the region escalates. A White House statement following U.S.-China talks said, President Biden underscored that the United States remains committed to the One China policy, guided by the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 joint communiques, and the 6 assurances, adding that the U.S. strongly opposes any move to alter the status quo in the region or undermine peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. President Tsai Ing-wen last month pledged that her country will continue to step up cooperation with the United States in order to uphold our shared values of freedom and democracy and to ensure peace and stability in the region.